Related to open dev approach, will you share what success looks like before, at, or after EA at all? Like, how many subs do you need to see at EA to feel like a successful, sustainable model? Or is that too secret sauce? I mean, we've talked about it before, right? We've got, for us, our goal, or our goal is to be able to get to a point where we can start bringing our folks on full time. They'll be brought on initially as full-time contractors because we can't just be like, hey, you're now a full-time employee to a business that we don't know has like a sustainable revenue model. For us, early access success is less about the number of players that we have subbed and more about the state of the game when we get into early access. Our goal for early access has always just been to get to a point where we're fairly systems complete, and it's really about having to crank out more more content during early access development, working towards 1.0. Naturally, there are always going to be some systems that we kind of deprioritize as nice to haves that we'll be working on during early access. But the core of the game, like the main MVP, vertical slice, whatever, is ready to go when we go into early access. The state of the game is that it's in pretty decent shape. Progression's feeling good. Itemization's feeling good. We've got a working economy. We're in less of a situation where we're thinking, oh shit, something's just going to break completely and we need to do a wipe or anything crazy like that. Performance is good. Server stability is good. Customer service and tech support are online. Swanee is actually working. Swanee's working with Callum and other folks for us to expand our tooling. Like, if you look, we want scalable, sustainable tooling for live operations, right? So we've had the ability for you to write bug reports and send them to a database for, I don't know, 2 years now. So getting our petition system up and running using the same sort of interface, getting good web tooling so that all of that data that's going into a database is easy for us and our customer service reps to mine that data and like be able to answer your petitions in a timely manner. All of the shit that's needed to actually have a real live operations business, a real MMO, have that stuff ready by early access. Because going into early access as an MMO and not having that stuff, to us, it's a priority that the quality of the service is good, because we'd rather you churn because you ran out of content rather than churning because, you know, we didn't respond to your petition for assistance or whatever in a timely manner, or people were wilding out in a zone and we weren't aware of it because we didn't have an easy way for you to let us know that somebody's like being disruptive, right? So like MMO 101 shit. So getting that in, not having crazy exploits. Another thing that we're working on and have been working on for the last couple of months pretty heavy is just looking at our security, right? Ensuring that we're always going to be playing the arms race with people hacking and things like that, but working with some good people to basically try to patch up some of our holes and find some different things. So all of that for early access, having enough content to be a good representation and keep you guys interested for a while, have a live operations plan with regards to content rollout that is in place. So our schedule goes all the way through everything that we've promised for early access, and then continues into the stuff that we'd like to get done for the first update, the first like expansion or module, as we're calling it, related to Deep Elves and the Deep. Having that as in place as possible by the time we go into early access, so we're not playing catch up too much. Those are the things that we're most focused on with regards to early access. What would be a success going into early access with all that shit in place. Now, financially, we thought that it was pretty likely because of not a lot of people were working on these types of games. We're obviously very indie. We're obviously very working on a budget, like I said, and we'll get these numbers posted, updated again. But if you go to the FAQ, and you look, there's information at the bottom of the page that runs through like our costs to date, like our cost history. We'll update that, but so far we spent just over like 100,000, right? Like 100, I don't know. We're not up to 110, I don't think. I'd have to check our expenses again, but like, you know, like 105,000 or something like that to date. We're not in a like horrible position in terms of like having a big payback window, or we don't owe anybody any money. We haven't made you any promises with like any sort of pledges or anything like that, right? So we're starting from a pretty even, you know, starting at zero and being able to work our way up. And we always thought we'd be happy if we got a couple thousand subs to start with. Like if you watch any of the old VODs, you'll see we'd be like, hey, if we start and we got like a couple thousand, 5,000 subs, we're in really good standing. If we get 10,000 subs, then we'd be like, that'd be badass. And if we got 20, we've got a sustainable business if we can maintain 20,000 subs, right? So that's been the goal, because like 20,000 subs at $15, right? Like even if you shave off 5 of the 15 for operating expenses just related to taxes and server costs and CDN and this and that, right? Say we only bring in the 10, and then that needs to be distributed as part of our like personnel related operating expenses. Well, if we can get 20,000 subs, that still starts us out at like a nice 200,000 a month, which allows us to pick up a lot of the guys that we would like to be able to bring full time that are currently on the team. We're a 31 person team roughly at the moment, with, I would say, minimum 30% of the team can't join because they've got really good day jobs. And so this will always be kind of their evening relaxing, fucking smoke a bowl, chill out, make some stuff kind of project, which is cool. And we'll always treat those guys like family. We'll always treat them as part of the team, and they'll always get like profit share, and we'll always be the team. But the guys that can join initially full-time contractor status, right? Because again, we can't say, hey, quit your day job and then join us if we don't know. Like we may have 20,000 subs and 3 months later we have 5, right? So we got to establish, a decent amount of, repeatable sort of consistent revenue, build up a war chest. We want to, when we hire somebody on a team, we want to know that we've got 6 months severance for them. If it goes to shit and you guys are like, a year later, you're like, this game's, I'm tired of it, cancel your sub or whatever. So before we bring people onto the team as like actual full-time employees, we should have severance for them sitting there just waiting, whatever, growing interest in the bank or something. So that we know that we can cash everybody out that has come on as a full-time employee. And then the guys that we bring on as contractors, it's a bit more flexible, right? And some of them are already freelancers and stuff like that. A couple of our guys are like caught up into industry layoffs and shit, which sucks because it's unfortunate it's not closer to when we can potentially get some money. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Now we're watching Pantheon, and Pantheon's been really successful. I'll look at their numbers every day, because they're there and why not? And it's part of our business. And so I think they're at like 80,000. I don't know how real the numbers are, but like VG Insights says like just over 80,000 units sold. That's looking positive, right? They've got some good consistent concurrent user numbers. We'll watch and see if that continues to grow and like kind of if it tapers out or what's going on. For us, we're of the mindset that if their numbers continue to hold strong and look good, then that's good for us, because it's just showing that there's a market out there. We don't think this is zero-sum game, and we're pretty confident with our offering. We think we've got a fun thing that people want to try. And so, and who knows, maybe it'll be something where we're out, Pantheon's out, Eco's out, and just when you kind of dry up with some content, you bounce over to one of the other ones. I don't know what the other games business models are going to be, but anyways, so if we're able to pull out, hell, man, if we're able to pull out 10,000 subs, we'll get started. That's more money than we got now. It's just costing us money. It's just cost us money to make this. But if we get like 20,000 subs, that's always been like our holy shit. If we can pull that off, we'll continue to grind, expand our capabilities. Our guys that come on full time will then be able to dedicate, full-time time to this. Think about it. Everything that you've seen us get done so far, if you check the updates and stuff, that's part-time. Everybody's part-time. If we get 20,000 subs and we are able to maintain that, for a year or two, then we've got a business, and we're going to continue to grind for you guys and try to make this game like just crazy, right? You see how big our region is. Just for this one region, we have a whole world map that's it's going to be a big game, but it's doable. Spooey said EcoDev says he wants M&M to be really successful, so he has something to play. Yeah, Hidden Tree's a great dude. We've been talking to him for years now. Like we've been following their development and talking to him behind the scenes for forever at this point. He's just a really fantastic guy. Their team's really cool. Their game's great, and Hidden Tree's a fantastic dude. Like, we started watching the stuff he was doing on before Eco looked like Eco, man, and it's really shaped up. But yeah, so that's the answer to your question, right? Like, what do we need? Not a ton. For us, not a ton means that we've got a legit business, and if we can do the things that we're wanting to do, and if you guys like them as much as we hope you'll like them, then it would be nice to grow that into a bigger and bigger business, and grow the game, and then, you know, just constantly reinvest in M&M so that it becomes something that you want to play for years, and then kind of go from there. And if we ever decide to make any more games as a company, we're going to do a similar process, basically spin off whoever wants to work on it, small number of dudes who wants to work on it. They need to start streaming, start building a community, start like interacting with the community as regularly as possible, so that that community can kind of do what you guys have done, which is like constantly give us feedback and go from there. And if there's interest, then build it up, and it'll be something where we could then fund it, so it won't be quite as crazy as what we had to do, but still. So that's my little what's it going to take spiel. Seems more doable these days. I don't know, man. Like, I don't want to. Hubris is a hell of a kick in the ass, but like, I think, and I'm not, this is not meant to be a negative at all, but who knows? But I think if Pantheon's able to hop on Steam with early access, sell 80,000 copies in a month, you know, plus they got their pledges and stuff in there. We think there's an audience out there, man. Like, I think 20,000 subs might be doable, which for us has always been like the dream goal. That's not even been like the, you know, minimum case in order for us to keep working. I don't know how much the team is really, I don't know how the team would react if it were to happen, but you know, when we talk to the guys, we're kind of like, hey, are you guys okay? Like, if this game goes into early access and we only got like 500 people playing it, are you guys willing to keep grinding to see if we can like continue to fix whatever it is that's keeping us from having more people? And typically the response is just like, yeah, let's keep going. So we'll see. I mean, our thought was always we'd be fucking happy with a couple thousand people, and now it seems like it's possible that there will be more. Which, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Because I think if the quality of the classic style MMOs, all the teams continue to push out good quality stuff, different takes on the sort of that subgenre, on the niche, I think we may find that we pull in more and more people that are younger, that are looking for something unusual, right? Some people that are like classic WoW heads, some people that are old EQ heads, EQOA, Final Fantasy 11, all of that stuff, right? Like, I think there's an audience there, and that's not even tapping into. Do you know how many kids are playing Minecraft each month right now? I was looking at some of the data that was in one of the recent presentations, and I just mentioned it because they're online, they're using PCs. I know not all Minecraft players use PCs, but between Minecraft, Roblox. I meant Roblox, not Minecraft. But like between Roblox, Minecraft, etc., I believe it was 400 million monthly active users on Roblox. Last time I saw Minecraft numbers, I thought they were 150, 200 million monthly active users. You know, you had 40 million people during the 2021, you had 40 million people playing Dungeons and Dragons, right? PC games are still continuing to grow. Yeah, the number of kids playing a hardcore classic WoW, looking at Pantheon saying it's pretty much WoW hardcore classic, but better. Yeah, I mean, I think if we make the right games, I think there is a total addressable market that could be surprising out there. So, yeah, I mean, but the focus, I mean, the main thing is whether we had 100 people in our Discord or 100,000, we have to make a good game. We have to make a game that we're proud of. We have to make a game that works. We have to make a MMO service that does what an MMO service should do for its customers. So that part doesn't matter. We got to do the same shit either way, right? Like, at the end of the day, we can't let a low number freak us out. We can't let a high number freak us out. And that's the other thing. Like, All right, so say we get a lot more people than we were originally expected. We can't let that change our vision and our decisions and stuff. We can't be like, oh no, we've got all these people now. We got to do whatever it takes to not lose them. We just, we be thankful that we got them in the first place, and we keep making the game that we set out to make. And because that's why people are here. I would hope is our differentiators. And I say that because I've been at studios where most studios, when they start blowing up, they get real freaked out because they're like, oh shit, we're making all this money. How do we keep it? And how do we keep growing? And there's a lot of compromising that starts going on, and it's not good for your game every time. Improvements are improvements, but you can definitely compromise your game to death. So you guys, Talet said, I plan on having 3 accounts. 1 on the no box and 2 on the box server. Right on, we encourage that behavior for sure. Tsunami-san said, with how many people are in the Discord alone, I can't see just having 500. But you never know, man. It's one of those, you never know. 10,000 people in the Discord server doesn't mean that 10,000 people are going to play. Yeah, but hopefully that's a satisfactory answer to your, like, what does EA success look like? We said that we need to do a better job of it, but it takes a little bit of time, and it's always deprioritized. But we want to post our numbers. I think that'd be really fun continuation of like our open development is to continue to post our numbers. But don't be surprised if we do well and we do have profit and we post our numbers if we show that we're profit sharing with the team. If the numbers are like really, really decent, then we want to give the team a really decent profit share, because the team has been busting their ass for years at this point, volunteering their time. So we want to give it back to them, and that would be a cool sign of success. So this is not a worker-owned company, I guess. Nope, it is not. It is an owner-worked company. One of the biggest problems with worker-owned, and I'm not going to say this is 100% always the case. Alicon, thanks for the follow, by the way. One of the problems with splitting equity, like ownership equity broadly, versus having something like a phantom stock program and really, really generous profit share. Well, there's 2 things. One, establishing like kind of what the vesting looks like for those shares, because you have people come, and then we've been fortunate enough to not have a ton of turnover on the team, but we still have turnover on the team. So there's got to be some sort of vesting criteria anyway. And then the other thing is, I believe, and this is just me speaking, I believe that it's possible for there to be teams that are completely flat and everybody's got the same vote and they get shit done and everything works out. But I think that's the exception and not the rule. And so if the team owns the company, then, if 51% of the team decides they want to do some dumb shit, what are you going to do? So from the beginning, we've always been very straightforward with everybody that comes on the team. Is we've got 3 owners. That allows us to have certain discussions where we need a tiebreaker or whatever. But we got 3 owners. Everybody else, we're going to do absolutely everything in our power to do right by you. And we'll set up a phantom stock program so that if for some reason we ever decide to sell the company, then there's some payouts there. Equity only really matters if you have if you're selling your shares, or if the company gets sold, or if you're wanting to use it to essentially have sort of a shareholders vote in decisions. And when we started when we started the company, when it was just like Ali, Nick, and I, and Bunny, it's just, there are so many things where it's like, what if I'd like to personally be in a situation where if we want to name the game something crazy, I'm not having to worry about, does everybody like get a vote on the name or whatever. And so it was like, pitching the name like Monsters and Memories, it was like, this is a kind of a silly, weird name, but to me, it was important to go like, can we company name Niche World's Cult, game name Monsters and Memories? Do you guys remember who came up with the name? Yeah, I came up with the name and bounced it off the guys. I was like, hear me out. This is going to sound weird. Here's my reason for it, but I really, really think this is a cool name. Can we do this?